Welcome back. This is Outnumbered. Get ready for 20,000 on Wall Street. As a number that once seemed completely out of reach, now looking very possible. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rapidly approaching that historic mark, riding a wave of momentum since the election. Just take a look at these milestones. The Dow has risen 8% since Donald Trump's surprise victory on November 8th, and it's been on a steady climb, closing at record highs on 14 of the last 22 trading days. Capping it off on Friday, the Dow had its largest 5-week percentage gain in more than 5 years. So Lou, who kicks off primetime every night on the Fox Business Network.
Yes, ma'am.
Business is obviously good. What does this mean for Donald Trump, and what does it mean for the country?
Well, for Donald Trump, it means that millions of people will be sending him personal thank yous for what they've done, seen happen to their IRAs and 401ks and their investments. I mean, it's extraordinary. It is, without question, a direct result of the election of Donald Trump. And, you know, what should everyone expect? Well, you know, if we're up 8% in a month, that means we're going to be up 96% over the course of the year, and therefore we're going to see the market. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay, but let me ask you the question that everybody's asking right now, and it's not necessarily we're going to see 20,000 or 21,000. We may not, but it looks likely that that will happen by year end. It's what will cause this market to sell off. You always have to be anticipating that. And a lot of the talk on Wall Street is right now, you're seeing the stock market rise in anticipation of President Trump's policies. So what happens when he's actually president and that becomes fact? Do we start to see selling?
There are a couple of things in there.
Does it set the bar pretty high?
It does set the bar high, and I think appropriately so. We're watching an administration be formed that is business-friendly, a president-elect who is business-friendly. And by the way, we are now escaping from 8 years of what has been a man who was so dour, so negative, so constrictive when it came to emotions. Ebullience was not permitted. The Obama White House is the most negative place and has been for 8 years in this country. It is terrible. Instead of sucking all of the oxygen out of the room, Donald Trump is pumping it in. He is blowing open the windows, the doors, and saying, this is time to get to work. We're going to create jobs. Believe in yourself. Believe in your country. It's the favorite campaign line for the president-elect. And believe in yourself, believe in your country, and believe in our future.
Which is contrast with President Obama, who said famously, you didn't build that to companies, which is such an incredible insult to people who put their blood, sweat, tears, and livelihoods and life savings.
He was trying to drive a state through the heart of the American dream.
All right, but
you
Sandra,
didn't build it.
Let me ask you about this, because even people who don't have a dime in the market, you know, maybe they don't have a 401k, maybe they don't have an IRA, maybe they don't have a pension that's tied to the market. What does it do psychologically, seeing these big numbers?
Well, what they may have is a house, because for most of us, our largest asset that we ever acquire is our home. So we watch interest rates really closely. And I think that that's going to be something to watch, because you're watching the stock market rise to these record levels with near zero interest rates. What happens when those start to tick up?
Well, we're already seeing that happen.
The Fed is meeting this week.
Yeah, starting, they're going to announce direction. They start tomorrow, and they'll start announce direction. Wednesday expected to raise. I don't think we have to worry too much about what they...
I'm hearing a quarter point, but we could see maybe...
That doesn't matter. I'm talking longer term.
The bond market has already made its move. Right now, the 10-year Treasury, looking out 6 months, maybe a year, but we're looking at over 2.5% yield in the Treasury, and that's strong, and that means that's a good thing as far as all of us who want to see a return to prosperity for all Americans.